Hello, and welcome to how you calculate the area of an irregular polygon. They come in different size and shapes, but I have two examples here. So let's start with the one on the upper left. So we have this kind of rectangle with a bit of a corner missing, and there is no formula for that. So you can just put all these numbers in and get the result. No. What we have to do is cut this into smaller pieces that we can then calculate. So I'm going to do that by imagining that I kind of cut here. I'm a little bit crooked, but just imagine there. Now, before I start doing anything, it's important to understand that these drawings are not always to scale, which means the numbers tend to be a little bit random. You can't necessarily trust the numbers. So even if on the drawing here you see a line that is in the middle of something else, so if you see a line that goes here, so it's like, well, it says 14 on this side, so this is in the middle, so it's definitely 7 and 7. You can't trust that. You have to use the numbers given and do the math. Don't trust your eyes, trust the numbers. It's a little bit sad, but that's just what it is. So anyways, I divided this into two, so I have what looks to be a square and a rectangle. It's not actually a rectangle, but whatever. The math is the same, it's base times height. So let's see, this one here is pretty straightforward because I have the two sides. It's 14 in height, it's 13 in base. So those are two I have to multiply. I also have the other little bit here. So I have the height, which is the 5 feet, but I don't have this down here. I don't know the base of it. However, I do know the base of the entire thing, which is the 25. And the base of the other one here is 13. So the missing bit has to be 25 minus 13, which is 12. So I just calculated the base of my little rectangle here. So it's 12 times 5. So you do that math and you add them together. So you put a plus there, and then you get the final result. 5 times 12, that's 50, that's 60. That's 6. 13 times 14, so 13 times 13 is 169, plus 13, that's 179, 182, I think. My mental math here is fine, so we add the two numbers together, so that's a 2, 6 and 8 is a 4, carry the 1, so it's 242 and feet. So that's pretty much how you do that. Now we also have other polygons, and if you look over to the right, there is one here. So this is just kind of a random shape. Normally the way you want to do this is you want to create triangles. There might be some cases where you can create a square or a rectangle or something like that, which is perfectly fine, but you have to make sure that everything is correct. You can't just be guessing. So normally it's going to be triangles. And when you have your triangles, well, you know the formula. You need base and height. You can basically use any of the sides as the base, but you pick one. So let's just say I pick this as my base. Rip, except for that little there at the end. But this is my base, and it's 8, because it says so right here. 8 meters. Now I need the height. Before you do this, unless you're given the number, it's very important that you find a place where you have a straight angle, a 90-degree angle on the base. It's normally indicated by making a box. So you need to find this place up to the tallest point of the triangle. So that's where you need to go. And you can make this line. This is your height. So you have the base, it's 8. In this case, we are not given the height. So what you will have to do most of the time is take your ruler and measure. So measure from the highest point down to the baseline at a 90-degree angles. Strong emphasis on 90-degree angle. If not, it's incorrect. And I don't know what this is going to be, but it's definitely less than the 8. Let's say, I don't know, 3. And now you have the two numbers you need, so you can multiply 8 and 3 and divide by 2. So that's pretty straightforward. That's 12. So the area of this one triangle is 12, if my guessing there is correct. And you do the same for the other two triangles. Be aware, for example, the bottom here. So if I want to use this as a base, that's perfectly fine. It's 5 meters, no problem there. But to find the height, it's from this point, that's the highest point, and then I have to go down to the baseline at a 90-degree angle. Yes, it's outside the triangle, but that doesn't matter. It's still where you need to measure. So if this is 5, that is 4, I don't know, let's call it 3.5. So, but again, you measure this with your ruler. Again, the 90-degree angle is important. You can extend this line if that makes life easier, not a problem. So 5 times 3.5, you do the math, which is 17.5, and then you have the second one, 17.5. So you do the last triangle here, then you add up the 3 areas, and you have the final area of your irregular polygon. So that's really how you do it. There are a lot of steps here. It's very important you take it slowly and really think about what numbers you're calculating and that 90-degree angle. If you just use the number 4 here, it's not a 90-degree line. It's not going to be correct. It's going to be a little bit inaccurate. So baseline, height, and find out where height is 90 degrees on that baseline. Whichever baseline you use, doesn't matter. Okay, I hope that was clear. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.